Good afternoon, my friends. This is the Grimflayer, and I hope you are all doing very well today. We need to say hello and give a warm welcome to our newest patron. Newest patron is named Brandon, and Brandon is an Inquisitor, so welcome, Brandon, and thank you very much, my friend, for supporting the channel. I do appreciate it. And to all of my patrons, we've got the first of the month coming up. We've got a new month and indeed a new year coming up, which means there's a new scouting report, coming due. And it looks like I'm going to be doing Bant Spirits. It's been the top meta deck for a little while now, but as always, the patrons get to vote. The patrons have their say. So if you want to see me explore a deck that's not Bant Spirits, let me know on my Patreon page or here on this channel, anywhere else you can get at me. If you think Spirits is what you want to see the scouting report focus on, then you can let me know that as well. If I don't hear much dissent, I will probably go ahead with a scouting report on the Spirits. And replays are still down. Sad but true, replays are still down, so I guess if we want to make some content for this league that's not just messing around in the tourney practice lobby, fun though that is, we've got to play another league. And as you can see, we 5-0'd our last league. I believe I'm 15-5 over the course of the 4 leagues I've played with a Start Confidant build, and that's of course a great record. I think that type of win rate is pretty much impossible for just about anybody to maintain over a long enough course, over a large enough sample size, but let's do our best to maintain it, shall we? Yeah, we're gonna keep doing friendly leagues, play the Confidant build. Gonna keep doing friendly leagues simply because, again, the live commentating aspect of things, it reduces the overall quality of my play. I don't think by a ton, but perhaps enough where I still want to kind of just keep running back the friendly leagues. I've heard it said, I've read somewhere on the internet that people with enormous sample sizes who track all of their matchups experienced only a 5% win rate decline when comparing friendly to competitive leagues. So in other words, if you have a 55% win rate in friendlies, you can expect 50-50 in competitive. I don't know how true that is. I don't even remember where I read it. So maybe the difference is not all that great, but still, you know, if I'm going to be playing in basically at the highest level of competition available, I kind of want to be able to put my head down and focus and not have to commentate while I'm doing so. So that will be a project for when the replays return to us. But for now, we're playing a friendly league. We're starting it off. Let's get it done. We won the die roll. And our hand is solid. I'll keep it. Our opponent, Lou Evil, is going in the tank here, but looks like they're going to keep. So, already an open question as to whether to get a Swamp or a Shock here. Really tough to say. I guess we Shock. Feels bad, but we did it. And we are against humans, okay. So they have Vile, Double Champion, and Thalia's Lieutenant. Well, that is a hand. That is a hand. And I think what we have to do here is just let them have Ether Vial and try to deplete their actual resources, their threats. So yeah, I think Thalia's Lieutenant is the big payoff card here, so we'll take that. I'm not I'm not a huge believer in taking away Ether Vial from Ether Vial decks when I'm on Golgari generally. Obviously, there are definitely situations where you'll want to, where it will make the most sense. But often I would rather just use my resources to kind of go after their actual threats. Opponents just got the upkeep stop set, and they're just making us sweat it out. We would love, 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 love to draw a Blooming Marsh here. Really, any untapped land, Overgrown Tomb would be a little painful. I certainly am unhappy to have had such a painful turn one now that I know I'm against humans in a very aggro-heavy start of humans nonetheless, but okay, we found a land, so I think we definitely just go ahead and play the Tarmogoyf here. Gotta present our threat. Gotta get the clock moving. Alright, so things are looking pretty good for now. Of course, they have a lot of decent answers to a Tarmogoyf, but this Fatal Push is going to be very good. We've got another threat to follow up the Tarmogoyf, at least at some point. Depends on, of course, what we need to do next turn, but unlikely we'll be tapping out for the tracker, at least. So it looks like they're going to main phase the champion so they can get a trigger, and then see what else they found. Meddling Mage naming Fatal Push would be pretty bad here, but they just found a Thalia, alright. So they have one unknown in hand, and we find a Bob. We find a Bob. We find a Bob. Alright, so we can grow the Goyf by 1 with an instant. So I think the first thing we'll do is offer the attack. And then we're probably going to push the Champion of the Parish no matter what they do before damage, but good enough for me. Once more, we're a bit punished for the decision to shock there, but on turn 1 that is, simply because Dark Confidant is also very painful here, but we'll see how it all pans out. Mantis Rider, oh no, that's bad. That's bad. We're under a good amount of pressure now. We're going to get hit for 5. Okay, Assassin's Trophy is a fine draw. And can we afford to race them? That's the big question, is can we afford to race? So if we attack with the they're just still at such a high life total. The problem is if we decide to race them, we are losing the race, even though we're going to trophy away that Mantis Rider. And if we decide to hang back, you know, that can certainly work to our favor, but the Thalia tax is potentially cramping our style, and, you know, if they draw like a Reflector Mage is really what I'd be frightened of, but yeah, we're just at too low of a life total, though. Like, we're going to take at least 4 next turn if we attack with the Goyf, so we just gotta pass. Trophy the Rider. what might this be for double white and a colorless? Militia Bugler. Yikes. Yikes, you got it. Finding a Reflector Mage? Okay, well, we might just be dead here, guys. We might just be dead. What on earth is this? Phantasmal image of a Mantis Rider. Well then, we are in some trouble. Alright, so if we trophy the image, they don't get ramped. But I don't think I care about them not getting ramped, so maybe we're supposed to trophy the real Mantis Rider. That way, if we draw some other stuff that lines up really well against Mantis Rider, like, for example, Liliana the Last Hope, Ticker Up, that could be good. But either way, I think we're pretty dead, so this is kind of an academic decision, but we still want to play correctly. So I will trophy here. And then take 3, and things are looking grim. They just found only gas. Like, they had 3 lands and Ether Vial in their opener, and they have found literally just gas since then. And very good gas, I might add. Militia Bugler into Reflector Mage, Mantis Rider, Phantasmal Image. Thalia has even been more relevant here than she looked like she would be when she came down, based on what they've drawn and what we've drawn. So, yeah, not much we can do here. Looks like we're just going to get beat down by the humans. Tireless Tracker is a very poor draw. But he does clog up the ground, and, like, Bob only chump blocks. Tireless can at least trade with Militia Bugler, I guess. So, sure, but we're pretty dead. Pretty dead. Sometimes humans just runs you over like this. Here comes a Reflector Mage, and potentially even more. What else you got, OP? Another Phantasmal Image. This is a certified nut draw, my friends. Certified nut draw. Oh, that's some style points, the Reflector on the tracker. I was thinking they would get in the sky for the kill with a couple Mantis Riders, but that's definitely more stylish. I'll give that to him. Alright, you got us. You got us, you got us. Yeah, nothing we could have done differently there. That was a bit rough. So, we want Languish. We want Deathmark. We want Collective Brutality. Liliana the Last Hope, Engineered Explosives, all this is good. Kitchen Finks is pretty solid. Pulse for sure. And I don't think we are particularly interested in anything else that our sideboard shows us, so 7 cards we are at least interested in. These Thought Seizes are pretty bad against humans. Nile Spellbomb also does nothing. And we are kind of interested in just getting quicker. So all of the other interaction in our deck is still fine. It's still fine. So we want to cut down from the top end, but not Kalitas, because Kalitas is amazing. Bring in all 7 of these cards, and we need to make 3 cuts. So Dark Confidant's a bit of a liability in this matchup to some degree. Tireless Tracker, slow. Liliana the Veil, I can see trimming 1 as well. What do we think about just cutting away one of each? Does play and draw change this at all? I don't know that it necessarily does, right? I think we can pretty much say that we don't want to see any of them in multiples, so maybe just trimming down on one of each is the most mathematically efficient way for us to get the shot at our most efficient progression here. So I can buy that. I can buy that. All right, let's run it back. That was kind of a free win for them in terms of how good their progression was and how medium ours was. So let's give them more of a fight here, shall we? I think this hand is good enough on the play. It's got a lot. It has got a lot. We'll keep it. The big question, I suppose, is whether it makes any sense at all to run out the EE on 1, and because we're on the play, I do not think we're supposed to. I think we want to try to get a 2-for-1 off of that, whether it be a vial and a creature or 2 creatures, anything like that. Of course, EE on 2 is also live here when it is not always, because we, of course, play a lot in that slot, but Cavern naming human, here comes an ether vial. Alright. Collective brutality. Good draw, but it continues to mean I don't really have anything great to do here, so I still think we just pass. I still think we just pass. Yep. So at this point, we're just in the market for efficiency. 2-for-1 opportunities with Pulse, with EE, or a clean Edict with Liliana. The Edict, though, is less appealing because they're on the Ether Vial plan, right? So if they can vial in a 1-drop in response and finish off the Lily, then we get the 2-for-1, though, with EE, so maybe that's still worth it. We'll have to see what they do and, of course, what we draw. Another vial. Okay. A relic, sure. Guess we just EE, huh? Tarmogoyf. Alright. Definitely got to take care of that relic now. So, 3-for-1, here we come. Opponent's probably a little flabbergasted by this one. Not the most common inclusion in 2-color decks, it must be said. But you can see the value of it. Situations just like that. Now, the bad thing there is we didn't actually take away any threats. We just kind of took away some tempo. And some mana advantage and some disruption. You know, Relic is disruption, so that's all true. But you know, we've still got to grind through what might be a whole lot of gas. They've got a Kitesail freebooter. Alright. They take away Lily, who would have been a very clean answer to the freebooter there, so that makes total sense. Right now, I think, well, we'll see what we draw, but, ooh, Deathmark doesn't hit that, but is a good draw in general. So, yeah, I'm going to just Brutality that thing, 1-for-1 it, and then we will play the Tarmogoyf. I guess, yeah, we still might need a third black. Was kind of interested in the forest there for Scavenging Ooze purposes, but we could conceivably have a Liliana plus Deathmark turn coming up, or something similar, so... Alright, things are looking good for us. We're even on cards. We have a handful of absolute gas. We have the board advantage in terms of mana, in terms of manlands, in terms of a 4/5 Tarmogoyf. Looking alright, but, you know, it is humans. It is humans. They just keep getting more and more gas sometimes. They're very good at that. They're very good at chaining together plays. Alright, they just scoop it. Fair enough. Guess the power of engineered explosives is a little bit too much for him. I will take it. And now that we are going to be on the draw going into Game 3, is there anything else that we are not in love with? Like, Dark Confidant is definitely still worse on the draw, but... I mean, so are these, is this Lily and this Tracker we shaved? I still think I like the 2-2-2 split of those 3 cards. And yeah, let's run it back. Running it back, just as is. Good job, Engineered Explosives, but hey, we had all kinds of stuff above and beyond that, right? We had the Tarmogoyf, we had all the interaction. Now, this hand is a lot lighter on interaction, but I think it's keepable. It's just not great. But even though it didn't get us there Game 1, Turn 2 Tarmogoyf is still pretty solid here. Turn 1 Inquisition is what's really the linchpin of this hand, though. And on the draw, all kinds of live draws. You know, pretty much guaranteed to hit our lands to start going off with Tracker, even though that'll be slow. It can still be good. Yeah, I think we're supposed to keep this one. It's not as good as our hand last game, though. But, yeah, let's give it a keep. Alright, our opponent keeping 7 all 3 games is not great for us, either. Like, if they even mulligan once, that can make a huge, huge difference, but... Alright, there's a little action. And because they're on the vial anyway, we might not mind ramping them so much, but... Of course, we will inquire as to the contents of their hand. Okay, 1 lander with vial. Auric Champion, huh? Pro-black, pro-red? I don't know how much I care about that, but their hand is completely stacked. Oh boy, this is tough. This is tough. So, I kind of like taking the Noble Hierarch to slow them down, which it is going to slow them down immensely, unless they top deck a land. Then all bets are kind of off, right? But if we leave them the Hierarch, I think we are supposed to take the Hierarch. The other option is Militia Bugler, because it's the 2-for-1. Mantis Rider is, of course, always a threat. I mean, their hand is very powerful. This is an important decision. Very important decision. I don't think we care about the Thalia because we just have all the creatures and not many non-creature spells anyway. So yeah. Well, I really think the Hierarch might be our best bet here. Let's take her. We just really hope they don't draw land right off the top. Really, really hoping for that. But they can leverage that Bugler advantage better if they have a Mana Dork. They can just kind of... And they're on the play. I think we are... Yeah, I think we were just supposed to slow them down there like we did. But it was a tough call. I guess we just don't want to get tempoed and aggroed out of this game, right? Because we have the grinding power of double Tireless Tracker. Again, not the best card in the matchup. I sided one out and we still found the other two, but... Alright. Okay, they just pass. Sweet. Ooh, Engineered Explosives. Now that's an interesting one. Unfortunately, we cannot just hit the Ether Vial right now. Because, yeah, I would certainly be interested in doing that if I could. So, we might be able to get it next turn, and maybe we will if they just kind of get stuck on one land. So I guess we're just playing the Goyf. Alright, they did not have a 1-drop to Violin. They go to 2. Ah, they have a 1-drop here. Well, looks like we're gonna get him with the EE again with a 2-for-1. Thalia, Guardian of Thraben. Okay. Ooh, so how does Thalia work with Engineered Explosives? I'm going to look this up just to make sure I don't mess it up. I should know this, and maybe I would if I wasn't under pressure of Game 3 live, but... Alright, magicjudges.org. What do you have to say? You want to cast EE, your opponent controls Thalia, you can choose any value for X, pay 1 additional, and it will enter with counters based on what colors of mana you paid. So, for example, you can choose X equals 0, add the 1 for Thalia, and pay blue for the total cost. The explosives will enter with 1 counter. If you wanted to cast the explosive as 0, alright. So, if I'm reading that correctly, it means that we cast the EE for 0, and it will enter with 1. God, that's sketchy. Like, it feels wrong if that's just not how it works on MTGO. For some reason, I'm going to be really sad. Let me read that again. If you want to cast EE when your opponent controls Thalia, you can choose any value for X. Pay 1 additional for Thalia's ability, and it will enter with counters based on what colors you paid. For example, you can choose X equals 0, add the 1 for Thalia, and pay blue for the total cost. Alright, well, my fear is that I cast it for 0 and it doesn't prompt me, but that wouldn't be how it works, right? Oh boy, I guess I'm supposed to go for that because that's the correct line. So, yeah, player land. Oh, no, I've got this wrong. I would have to pay 2. Right. And then I don't have the mana to crack it here. So, we're going to slow roll this. We're going to cancel. Man, that's rough, because they're going to get to vial something else in here, right? But, next turn that is. But yeah, I think we just go on the attack, and we're going to Fatal Push Vithalia, I suppose, before damage? I don't know. Yeah, I knew I had something wrong with that read. Alright, so now I guess I still just play this out on 1 to be mana efficient, even though it reveals... It kind of reveals what I'm up to. So the big question for them is what value can they extract out of this vial before they get it exploded here. They are going up to 3. They did not do the in response to adding the counter trick. Well, they found a second land anyway, so they're kind of in business now. Unfortunate. Unfortunate that we were not able to cleanly answer the vial last turn, but they're going to cast the champion, they're going to vial in Bugler or Rider, or maybe they found something else. They do have 1 unknown in hand here. Bugler. Lots of triggered abilities. Thalia's Lieutenant, yikes. So that Thalia tax was super relevant there. At least we're going to get to take care of their acceleration with Vial. We're going to get to take care of their most powerful body on the field. Inquisition of Kozilek is a good draw. I will cast it. Man, these tireless trackers are so clunky. Okay, but we're fine. We're fine. So yeah, I'm gonna cast the EE. Alright, I'm gonna cast the Inquisition. I guess we'll do that first just in case that changes the turn. Rider, Bugler, Lieutenant. Another Bugler. You have got to be joking me. Man, oh man, oh man. This is brutal, guys. This is some brutal progressions from humans. So we've got to get these tireless trackers down at some point. So if we are planning to take a turn off sometime, maybe next turn, to play a tracker, then what is the worst? Maybe we're supposed to let them have the Bugler and plan to be able to kind of grind through that value. But, I mean, none of this is good for us. We have Trophy to answer Mantis Rider, so it's... maybe it is just Bugler. I think it is. It's the guaranteed 2-for-1. Alright, being able to clock there was pretty sweet. Ooh, they drew a third land right on cue. Oh, man. But they're going to play the Lieutenant instead of the Mantis Rider? Alright. interesting. I did expect the rider for mana efficiency, but that's a good play too, obviously. Tarmogoyf, huh? Well, that's a solid draw. These clunky trackers are killing me, though. They're completely killing me. We're kind of playing 2 cards down with these 2 cards around. So if they play Mantis Rider, next turn they swing all out, we block the Bugler, we'll take 8, 9. 3 from the Rider, 2 from the Lieutenant, 2 from the Champion. 3 from the Rider, 2 from the Champ, 2 from the Lieutenant is 7. I don't know where I got 9 from, because we're blocking the Bugler. Yeah, so I think we have to keep attacking. Even though they've got a little incidental life gain going on, I think we have to keep attacking. Just gonna attack, then play the Goyf. I don't know, maybe we should have taken Rider or Lieutenant over that Bugler. I don't know. I don't know. I do know that our progression has been a mix of really good stuff and really bad stuff. That is what I know. Night of Autumn? Whew. Okay. Gaining 4, yep, that's pretty solid. If only we had a Fatal Push. Treetop Village. Well, I mean, I guess that kind of makes us want to go Tracker into land this turn and just keep clogging up the ground. Do we turn both Tarmogoyf sideways? So if we turn them both sideways, then on the crackback they've got us for 3 plus 2 plus 2 plus... that's pretty close. 3 from the Rider. 2 from Night of Autumn is 5. 2 from Thalia's Lieutenant with the buff is 7. 2 from Aureate Champion is 9. We'd have to chump. So I think that makes us only want to attack with 1. It makes their attacks way worse. Tough call, though. So I guess we get in with just a lonely Goyf here. Well, our board is big, and they dig instead of playing that Mantis Rider. It's kind of a desperation mode move, but they don't have good attacks. So, ooh, Collective Brutality. Wonderful draw. Wonderful draw here. So, I think we are pretty clearly going to kill something and drain them for 2 pitching a Tireless Tracker. Drain for 2. Yep. I guess it's just a lieutenant. So the big problem here is that they can let one Tarmogoyf through and still live, but I guess we're still supposed to just kill something with trophy and get in with everything, right? There's no way we can really die on the crackback. We just kill their biggest thing and just get in. Sure, just going for it. Did we do it? All right, they've got to throw some stuff away here, that is for certain. All right, folks. Looking promising to me. They get to dig again, but we get to even attack with the treetop village next turn, which is just lethal in more ways than one. And the opponent will scoop it up. Wow, good game, well played. I'm not gonna lie, didn't think we were gonna get there when we kind of stalled out in the mid-game there on a couple tireless trackers without hitting a 4th land drop. Really didn't think we were going to get there, but you know what we dodged? We dodged a Reflector Mage. Reflector Mage, basically at any point in that game, might have just been lights out, or at least would have made things way, way, way dicier for us. But as it is, they did not have the Reflector Mage, unlike Game 1 where they had, you know, not only Reflector, but Image copying a Reflector to finish us off. Here they didn't have the Reflector. They had a really stacked hand, but it was a 1-lander with a Vial. We were able to 2-for-1 them using Engineered Explosives, but not before they kind of got their mileage out of Vial, and then they found the lands, and then it was just on. So, wow. We had some, like I said a few turns ago, we had a mix of really good things and really bad things. Like, Fatal Push is always good here. Inquisition in the opener, and Inquisition whenever we found it, whatever it was, turn 4 or so. Those things were good. Engineered Explosives was great. The trackers were less great, but hey, Tracker, you know, we finally found a window for her after we'd stabilized the board with double Goyf. 1 Goyf blocking, 1 Goyf attacking. Yes, then we can kind of take a turn off to play the Tracker, play our Treetop Village, make a clue. And Tracker, of course, proved to be a relevant portion of the clock, but Collective Brutality was a really nice draw there, right at the death as well. Brutality, Trophy, it all came together beautifully. So, hey, it was a really tight 3-game series. We kind of got stampeded Game 1. We kind of blew them out really hard with a 3-for-1 Engineered Explosives in Game 2. And then here, this Game 3, as it sometimes seems to be, Game 3 was the real give and take, the real back and forth, but we did it. We got there, so awesome. Great way to start off this league. We get the 1-0 against one of Modern's top decks, and one that we are fine against, but is by no means an easy matchup. You've got to have good sideboard cards for this matchup, and even so, you've got to realize that sometimes they are just going to have it. Sometimes they're just going to have it. Game 1 was a great example of that. Like, granted, our progression Game 1 was not the best. started off with an awkward Fetch Shock Thoughtseize, which is not good against humans, and, you know, not necessarily the greatest from there either, but even if we had a top quality progression, we would have struggled to hang with the absolute density of gas that they drew. So humans is still a very, very tough deck, but we got them. We got them. We're off to the 1-0 in the league. I love it. So let's leave it there. And as always, everybody, I thank you so much for watching. Thanks again to our new patron, Brandon, and to all of my patrons. Thank you so much for the support. Don't forget to let me know what you want to see the scouting report on. Hey, ironically enough, or I guess it's not irony, it's a coincidence. Coincidentally enough, last month's scouting report was on the deck we just took down, humans. So, hey, putting theory into practice, I suppose. But anyway, yeah, thanks to all the patrons, thanks to everybody else tuning in, and stay tuned to the channel because over the course of the next several days, I will be completing this league. So, until then, stay tuned, and I hope you have a great day. I will talk to you soon.